You know, in the world of software development, everyone talks about quality culture. It's a huge deal. But how do you actually measure something like that? Well, we're about to look at a platform called QEnabler that tries to do exactly that. So let's dive in and see what it's all about. Okay, so everything kicks off with this really powerful idea. Think about it. For decades, QA was this separate department, right? Kind of like the final gatekeeper before anything went live. But in today's world of continuous delivery, that old siloed model, it just breaks. It doesn't work anymore. The real goal now is to weave quality into the very fabric of the team's culture.
And that leads to a really important question for, any engineering team out there. Is quality just a process for you? A bunch of boxes to tick before you can ship? Or is it something more? A shared responsibility where everyone on the team feels like they own it? That right there, that's the core problem QEnabler is built to tackle. Which brings us, of course, to the platform itself. QEnabler. It's built from the ground up to help teams make that big cultural jump from old-school QA to this more modern approach called quality assistance.
So at its heart, QEnabler is really for teams that are in the middle of this exact change. And I want to be clear, this is not just another bug tracker or some test management tool. No way. It's designed specifically to help with that shift, that move toward a world where the whole team owns quality, not just a handful of specialists.
And you can see the focus right here: coaching, maturity, and ownership. See, this platform isn't about counting bugs. It's not about how many test cases you ran. It's all about making those human activities, the stuff that actually builds real quality, visible for everyone to see. Okay, so you might be wondering, how do you even get started? Well, the onboarding is designed to be super simple and guided. It really gets you up and running and set for success right from day one. Let's walk through it.
It's basically just 4 key steps to get going. First, you define your organization. Second, you create your squads. Third, you add your team members. And then, and this is a big one, you do your first maturity assessment. Let's take a closer look at a couple of these.
So after you set up your organization, you start creating your squads. And this is really important. In QEnabler, the squad is everything. It's the core unit. We're not tracking quality by individual or for the whole project in some vague way. No, it's owned right there by that small, cross-functional team that's actually building the thing.
Then you add your people. You assign them roles: quality engineer, developer, manager, you name it. And this is key because it actually customizes what each person sees. It makes sure everyone is looking at the data and the dashboards that are most relevant to their job. Okay, and this brings us to a really cool feature: the maturity ladder. Now, this isn't a test or a pop quiz. It's all about self-reflection. The whole squad gets together, maybe with a quality engineer leading the conversation, and they have an honest talk about where they are on their quality journey. Are they just doing ad hoc testing? Or are they all the way up to having quality totally baked into everything they do? It's a fantastic way to get everyone on the same page about what getting better actually means. All right, so once you're all set up, the real fun begins. A massive part of this quality assistance model is coaching. But here's the problem, right? So often coaching is completely invisible work. And that is exactly what the coaching tracker is for. Again, this isn't for logging test cases. This is for tracking those super high-value coaching moments. We're talking about things like pair testing with a developer, brainstorming a new test strategy, or getting the team together for an exploratory testing jam session.
And here's where the light bulb goes on. For the first time, all that critical work, the coaching, the pairing, the teaching, it's all captured. It takes a quality engineer's contribution from being this fuzzy, invisible thing to something you can actually see, measure, and talk about. And that's the real payoff, isn't it? The platform helps you connect those dots. You can literally start to see how more coaching leads to real, tangible results, like your team's maturity level going up, their confidence soaring, and, at the end of the day, your quality risk going down. But coaching, as important as it is just one piece of the puzzle. QEnabler is designed to pull together a bunch of different signals to give you that full, holistic picture of a team's quality health. Enter the quality scorecard. Think of it like a quick health check for a squad during a sprint. And what's really cool about it is how it mixes things up. It pulls in objective data, hard numbers like bugs found, but it also combines that with subjective stuff like how confident the team feels about their work, which is just as important. So where do you actually use this? Most teams bring it right into their sprint retrospectives, and it just changes the conversation.
Instead of kind of vaguely talking about what went wrong, the team can look at this scorecard together and have a much deeper, data-driven conversation about quality.
And this is where it gets really, really smart. Built right into the scorecard is an AI coach. It actually looks at the squad's data and gives you concrete suggestions. So if it sees a dip in a quality signal, it might suggest, hey, maybe you should run a pair testing session on this feature. It helps the team come up with real, actionable things to do in the next sprint.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. All of these different signals we've been talking about, test debt, coaching, the scorecard, maturity, they all roll up into this one high-level view called the Quality Risk Radar. The whole point is to give you a super quick, at-a-glance idea of a squad's overall risk.
And it's really clever how it breaks risk down into 4 key areas: product, technical, delivery, and confidence. So, one little red dot might not be a big deal, but when you start to see a whole cluster of red flags in one category, bam, you know exactly where you need to focus your energy.
But here's the absolute best part. It doesn't just show you what the risk is, it tells you why. This AI Risk Insights panel, this is the real magic. It digs into all the data and then tells you in plain English why the risk is high, what's changed since last time, and this is huge, it gives you specific actions you can take to fix it. It's incredible.
So, let's bring it all home. How do you get the most out of a platform like this? It's pretty straightforward. First, benchmark where every squad is at with their maturity. Second, make that scorecard a regular part of your retrospectives. Third, actually log your coaching sessions as they happen. Make that work count. And finally, keep coming back to these dashboards to see where you can help the most.
At the end of the day, the big takeaway is this. QEnabler isn't about just adding another metric to a dashboard. It's about seeing quality for what it is, a whole interconnected system of coaching, maturity, risk, and confidence. And this is the tool that helps you manage that entire system.
Which really just leaves us with one final question. The whole idea behind this platform is that quality isn't some solo act, it's a team sport. So, is your team ready to get in the game? Thanks for checking out this explainer with me,